Welcome back to U.S. Farm Report this weekend from right here at Top Producer Summit in beautiful, sunny, and not so warm Kansas City. It has been brutal this week, but we're glad to be inside here at the Lowe's Hotel. Drew Lerner, as well as Dan Bossie and Arlan Suderman, to really break down what's happening in Brazil. But before we focus on Brazil, let's talk about the markets this week. Arlan, March corn futures hit $5. Has anything fundamentally changed that's fueling the market this week?
Well, for the corn market, yeah, we're tightening stocks. The major exporter stocks are getting tight. We basically have taken the cushion out of the market in case we do have a problem. I would say we have not yet tightened the fundamentals to the point of justifying rationing demand, but the ironic thing is you take cash prices up $1 and we really haven't slowed down demand. That's the good news.
Demand has been the story. I mean, yes, we had some changes in supply in USDA's January report, but the demand has been phenomenal. I mean, Dan, do you think that corn demand can continue at this pace in 2025?
So I think a lot of it depends on terms of where we are in Safrinha, getting that crop in the ground, and then making sure these farmers out here plant 93 or 94 million acres. If that happens, that causes end users to rear back just a little bit and say, hey, I've got other supplies. We're close to getting Argentinian and Ukrainian corn competitive with the U.S. again. That hasn't happened. But those are the things we're watching. But to Arlan's point, I mean, it's tight. It doesn't take much of a spark to go higher, but we're here. And I think the questions now are supply going forward more than demand.
Drew, he mentioned the Safrinha corn crop, and really the concern when you look in South America has been the delay possibly in the Safrinha corn crop. Where do we sit? Are they getting that crop planted?
Yeah, they are getting it planted. It looks like it's moving along fairly quickly right now. The weather churned about a week ago, and it looks like it'll continue for several more days. Next week, we may see a little bit more rain, but these guys are planting like crazy right now, and they're making great progress. And I think that we'll probably get most of the crop in. There's a chance for some rain next week that may interfere with that a little bit, but these Brazilian farmers, they can get a lot done in a very short period of time.
That's not really what we wanted to hear. Hoping that there was a weather story down in Brazil right now, especially with that Safrinha corn crop. But is that pretty much baked into the market at this point, Arlan, the size of this crop?
I think it is baked in. Now the question is, where do we go from here? Does it get tighter? If you look at similar years, we've caught up in a lot of our planting. The two slower years in recent years were 2021 and 2023. In one of those years, we saw the rainy season last longer, and they had a bumper crop. In the other year, it ended a little earlier, and we had a short crop. The difference between those two crops was about 2 billion bushels. That's 2 billion of exportable supplies there or not. So that'll have a big impact, therefore, on our exports as we go into next marketing year. How big a crop do they have? When do the rains quit?
Dan, can the U.S. farmer, can we compete with Brazil again?
We are the U.S. farmer, unfortunately, is in that position of being the high-cost major exporter in the world. And it's just because of our land costs and some of our other variable costs that are there today. We can compete, but when I look at Brazil and I look at the double cropping and I look at the land cost that's 30% less, yeah, their inputs cost a little more, but they've spent a lot of money on logistics. It's happening down there. They keep moving. My farm clients in Brazil are talking about planting 3% more crop next year. I don't see an end to the expansion, unfortunately. So, you know, it really becomes a question of the global demand and where's the next demand driver once we get through this corn market that, you know, I believe will peak, unless we have a weather problem in the U.S. this summer, in the next couple of months.
Well, weather problem, we've got to get the crop planted first. A lot of question marks on what is the spring outlook. So, Drew, we need to take a quick break, but then I'm coming to you, okay?
All right.
We're going to talk about the spring planting season, but we need to take a quick break here on U.S. Farm Report. We'll be back in just a moment.
U.S. Farm Report on the road from the 2025 Top Producer Summit is brought to you by BASF, helping you do the biggest job on earth. By Nutrient Economics, an entire team of agronomists always with you. And by Taranis, moving the acre forward. Every acre tells a story. Find yours at acreforward.com. That's acreforward.com.